part of our family, but we can't really get insurance that you're in our family yet. You know. During the day it's too hot. So whether you do need to try and optimize the time with focus there.
Okay, dạ.
Kids now watch a lot of TV, so the English is pretty okay. They might not be able to speak it, but they would understand it. Oh yeah, like a broad grass. Locally, yeah, but you can't put the British for like the legal. It's more expensive.
Kenal live ni?
Literally puddles. Patches of puddles. Let's go. Scored a lot against Arsenal.
No?
Trying to think maybe it's a couple of new game for the Super Leagues. A little punishment, you know, work harder. 70 minutes. Come on, guys. You gotta last a little longer. Once you start hanging, it's okay.
The players, come. Coach, you met your family, yeah? Then you really want to be part of the family, yeah? Semua kenal dia tak? Does anybody remember watching me play? Yeah! Oh, Liverpool supporters? Manchester? Last night. No, not Who do we think is going to win the league in the Premier League? Liverpool. Liverpool. So this season you played 4 games? Yeah. 1, 2? 1 draw.
I'm very upset.
And only 2 attack, 2 goals. These people attacking 15, what, 11? Why you just...
That's very important, finishing.
Yeah, finishing is not there.
That's why we need some advice from the striker.
The second.
Any tips?
Counter-attack is always a win. Who is the strikers? Okay, you look like a winger. I was watching, I think you look like you play on the side, no? You play on the side.
Yeah, you can play in the side and also the attacking players must have speed. You can play any position.
Players nowadays have to be very versatile.
But actually, he's from KL.
Okay.
I took him, I signed 3 years. Now KL want him, I need to pay me.
Yeah. Good.
Any question?
Yeah, question?
Any
Forward.
questions for me? Yeah.
Forward. Siapa? Who's forward? Come in front. Come.
I want to ask.
Okay, come. Stop. Hey.
A great attacking team. What we must do?
Well, lots of things. Yeah, lots
The
of
simple
things.
thing.
I think the most important thing is everybody has different skills. You don't have to be good at everything. It's better to be very, very good at one thing and not so good. Okay, so if you're not so good, it doesn't mean you have to go, that has to be better. No, get even, be world class at one thing. So if you're very, very fast, then, do you understand? We don't need players that are just good, just average all the way, yeah. You need 1 or 2 things that you're exceptional at, very, very good at. So whatever you're best at, if it's dribbling, if it's speed, practice, those things, yeah. Yes, it's a good if you've got a weak left foot, maybe get it better, or in a heading, get it better. But the most important thing is to be exceptional at 1 thing or 2 things with being an attacker. Because you have to be a difference between everybody else. The defenders more they can't have too many weaknesses, you know. But the attackers only have to have one or two very good attributes. Yeah, mine was speed, and then in front of goal, very calm. Yeah, very cold. Because when somebody's about to shoot, the crowd, your team, everyone's centre forward, go the other way. He is opposite, cold, calm, finish. You know, concentrate. So it's very. Being a centre forward is very different to other positions.
Maybe Michael, if you could share, how do you, before the game, how do you focus? How do you get into that zone of calm, cold?
Well, everyone's very different. I mean, when I played, Stephen Gerrard, Jamie Carragher, they're all very, come on boys, you know, let's. And I'm very much focused, you know, I don't need to be shouting. So we all prepare in a different way. And it depends. Some people can play their own game and help other people. You know, that's a very big skill. Captains normally can help others and not affect their own game. Whereas I always like to concentrate on myself and my team. Helping other people I could only do when I was playing well and feeling comfortable and confident in my own performance. So in this group there'll be 3, 4, 5 real leaders, real captains, and they need to help everybody else. And some people will be very quiet, very concentrated. But yeah, there's all different ways to prepare. There's no correct way, or you know, everybody's different. Yeah.
Lagi, any more questions?
Hey, ask what year Michael Owen played in World Cup? And Junior World Cup.
Yeah.
Anybody knows?
Should know. You should know. It was in this country.
He played in Malaysia.
Yeah.
And you ask under 21, he's a 16 years old, he already played World Cup. Under 21.
Yeah, in Malaysia.
Yeah. Come inside. Ask.
When you were in the young age, you were in the top level, so why consistent?
Why? What, sorry?
How to be consistent?
Why can't be consistent?
Okay. Yeah, well, it's all here, yeah? It's all mental.
Yeah.
So we'll all have ability. Some people, they score a goal in a World Cup. I scored goals in the World Cup when I was 18 for England. Yeah, only us older people remember. Yeah, and some people think, yes, I'm a champion, and that's it. But for me, that's like, forget next year or next game. I always say that only when I retired, when I was 33, then I look back, and now I can look at my Ballon d'Or. Now I look at my Premier League medal. I look at all my medals and all my achievements. Only now. When I do it, when I score a goal, that's not finished. Now I have to score another goal, and another goal, and another goal. So being a footballer for me wasn't fun. It was more. Be greedy. You know, if Ronaldo scores 3 goals, what happens the next day? Messi scores 3 goals. They help each other. They have to be the best, and then the next one gets better, and the next one, because he scores 3, I have to score 4. So it's a constant, you know, challenge to be better. Never be happy with your performance. Never be happy scoring 1 goal. You have to score 2 goals. And okay, when you're finished, when you retire, you can then be happy. Yeah? But nobody is just for 1 game or 1 tournament or 1 trophy is never enough. You have to keep going and going more and more. And that is only mental. That's not physical. That's only how you think about the game. Very strong.
How many goals you score? 4 games.
Easy.
3. 4 games, 3 goals.
When you went like that, then I thought you said none. 3, because I can think none.
Then
What's the target?
you, our captain.
20 goals.
How many goals?
1 goal.
4 goals.
1.
You need to challenge him. That's Michael Owen is telling. Okay, next game you need to score 3.
Never be happy.
Be hungry. Hungry for the ball. Hungry to win.
Anything? Clear?
How about your nutrition intake?
My tradition.
Nutrition.
Oh, okay, yeah, it's important. It's different over here, you know, very hot, and so it makes it even more important. You know that in the last 20 minutes you need to, because when you get tired, the first thing that gets tired is this, and you make bad decisions. So fitness is very important, and now more than ever. Maybe 20 years ago you could be, you know, not run much and stay, but no, now everybody, even the best players, even Mbappe and Neymar, they came to Liverpool maybe 1 year ago, and when they get the ball, fantastic, and then they lose the ball, walk back, and what happens? Liverpool kill them. Even the best players in the world now have to be fit, run. You only have the ball 50% and not 50%. So you can't be like 50% great player and then nothing. You know, you have to, all the time, you have to be very fit. So nutrition, drinking water, it's all very, very important to last a long time in games. Yeah. Especially in these conditions. When in the last moments, people get tired, people switch off, and then you concede a goal and game finished. The fitness instructor.
I did.
Yeah. Fitness. Yeah. So it's very important, you know, for everybody to be fit and good nutrition.
Which the best club? Liverpool, Real Madrid, Newcastle, Manchester United.
It changes. In my first part of my career, Liverpool was brilliant because I was at my best at Liverpool. You know, when I was between the age of very young all the way until I was about 24, this was the best time of my career. And then I had one very good season at Real Madrid. And then I started going slowly. I had a few injury problems. But the club, Manchester United, was an amazing club. You know, there's so many people, you know, 5 doctors and 10 physios and 5 masseurs, and there's just so many people making it a great club, you know. So you don't need anything, you just need to, on the pitch, and that's it, yeah. Everything is very professional. So Manchester United was probably the most professional, but that was because it was later on in my career, and medical and sports science and all these things were getting better. So yeah, but 3 of the biggest clubs in the world, Liverpool, Manchester United, Real Madrid, they were all great clubs for different ways.
Because my president, Barcelona. Liverpool to Barcelona.
I visited there, but I want to go visit down there.
Right.
Well, I played against Barcelona in El Clasico one day,
Yeah.
and, at the Bernabeu in Spain, in Madrid, and there was some great goal scorers. Samuel Eto'o, Ronaldinho scored 2 goals for Barcelona. We won 4-2, and then in our team there was the goal scorers were Ronaldo, Zidane, Raul, and Owen.
Nice.
Figo, Beckham didn't score. Beckham passed me the ball. He gave me the assist. Very good, very big game.
Michael, what is the one piece of advice that changed your career, or was the most important piece of advice you ever received?
Well, it's hard to say one real bit of advice. My big bit of advice is the mentality, is to have strength in your mind. You know, I'm the same size as all of you. You don't have to be this big, you don't have to be this big. Anything. Football is for everybody. You know, if you're small, you have to use your advantage, maybe your speed or your tricks or whatever it is. So we all get given whatever attributes you've been given, and then after that is all mentality. You have to be very, very strong in your mind. I've played with some great players, better skill than me, but they won't get as far as me. They will all be, you know, still playing at a lower level just because they're not strong enough. Because they play one game and are very happy, and then they give the ball away, bad pass, and then it's oh no, and, you know, just too weak, they're too no confidence. You have to be always, you know, okay, give one pass away, straight away. Next time I do it better. So you have to have a good mentality, get all negative out of your mind, only positive thoughts. And as I say, never be happy with where you are. You always can be better. Next game better, and next game better.
So you boys ready to train again? It's already late. Otherwise it'd be melted.
Well, it's been great to see you all. I've been watching your training, so good luck to everybody in the future. Hopefully you all make professional footballers. Maybe I'll be asking you for a picture one day. Do we have a picture? Team photo? Yeah. Okay. Come on. Where's the camera?
Facing sana. Facing? Facing siang.
Tadi?
Which one?
Where do you want? This you want beli?
Okay, ikut dia. Bawa bot.
Siapa nak tu? Player.
All players.
Line up.
Go.
Play the players.
Players down.
Come, yes. Players. Come on. Go on.
Tengok belakang ni. Lagi.
Siapa player belah sikit? Depan belakang tak nampak.
Ada suara boleh? Selangor boleh ke?
Okay, 1, 2, 3.
Selangor boleh!
Satu, dua, tiga.
Okay, one more official lah.
Okay.
Okay, 1, 2, 3. Okay, Selangor boleh. One more time ah. 1, 2, 3. Selangor boleh! Alright, thank you.
Pit.
Ni dah settle lah. Tak ada apa. Ni ada PC kot, saya masuk dalam. PC dengan Owen kot.
Okay.
Tak bad light apa eh?
Morning, I'm Owen. Obviously, you've been to Malaysia throughout the years. I mean, what is your opinion on Malaysian football in general?
Well, it's obviously great to be here. I keep coming back, so I obviously enjoy Malaysia. First time I came here when I was pretty young to play in the Under-20 World Cup. and that was my first experience. And I've been back many times since with different football teams and then on personal visits as well. And this morning was great to see lots of young potential players in this great club. It's nice to talk to those players, it's nice to watch them training. And I hope that some of the questions they ask me would be beneficial for them in the future. It's a very difficult game, football to get to the very top is everybody's dream, so it's very competitive, and hopefully some of these players can make long careers. But they're a fantastic club, and I've enjoyed listening and learning all about the club.
Do you think the football, the clubs, the football match play has improved since you were first here?
Well, when I was first here, obviously I was playing for England in an international tournament. I didn't get to come round and see some of the youth football. But having had a discussion with some of the club officials, it's interesting to listen to the projects, how they bring the youth players through, the different structures in Malaysian football. It's obviously a little bit different to where I'm from in England, but I think it's important that so many people have the interest of the sport at heart and try to improve the general standard, and that always starts with the younger generation. It's very difficult to turn a 18-year-old into a professional footballer if they've never kicked a ball before, so you have to start very young and have a system in place that's going to improve young Malaysian footballers.
Michael, you were with the youth team just now. As someone who broke into the seniors, a young player, do you see that? Do you think it's detrimental that players are getting bigger, playing and bigger roles for their teams at a younger age these days? Is that healthy?
Well, I think if you're good enough to be, part of the next team, let's say, the next generation, the older team, then I think you've always got to balance out, one, the ability, and two, the physical size, because there's no skill really in putting a very, very talented technical player that may be 12 years old against 15-year-olds if they're just too physically big for them. So we need to push the talented players to get better and better, but that doesn't necessarily mean we make it more difficult playing them in a senior team or a men's team. So I think that is all about the coaching, the quality of the coaching. There's lots of different things how you can make football and improve the standard. Facilities, the style of coaching, the type of stuff that you're doing. There's so many different things, but I think just seeing here there's lots of talented footballers, and hopefully they have the right pathway to go on and make professional footballers.
Again, you mentioned coaching just now with the young players. In Malaysia, there's this tendency to use big foreign players at the cost of the development of younger players. They're not getting their place in the first team. How do Malaysian teams can overcome this mentality, this over-reliance?
Well, I think there's a balance to be had. Talking to, how do you call yourself, president or chairman or president? I was talking to the president earlier, and he was making me aware of the allocation of foreign players that you're allowed. But in England, we don't have any. We don't have any allocation. So if you're a good young English player, well, it's fair. Everything is, the best will eventually be in the team. That's the challenge. Here in Malaysia and a lot of different countries, then you have only a small allocation of foreign players. So that helps promote the young players. So instead of looking at it from a negative point of view, saying there's a few foreign players and they block the passage of local players, I think it's a very small group. And I actually think those foreign players can be almost idols or aspiring type of people for the youngsters. So in England, if we don't have the superstars up here, then where do the young people, where do they want to go? They look at those and they're watching what they do, how they live, the skills that they have, and they're trying to be like them. So it's good to have aspiration, and it's good to have opportunity. So I think there's a nice balance in Malaysia where you don't have
all foreign players coming in, but you do have enough to have people that, as I say, that you can aspire to.
If I want to ask you about the Premier League, do you think Liverpool have what it takes to recover, to get back their first spot?
Well, it looks like it's a two-horse race, doesn't it now? It's only Manchester City and Liverpool that are potentially going to win the Premier League. I'm going to feel sorry for whoever doesn't, because in any other year the second team will have won the Premier League by maybe 10 points. I mean, this year has been an exceptional standard. And it's going to go a long way yet. I think Liverpool now have played in recent weeks Everton away, Manchester United away. And okay, their points has dropped a little bit, but now it changes. Now Manchester City have a more difficult finish. Liverpool have easier teams. All their difficult games are at Anfield, against Chelsea and against Tottenham, yeah. So I think now, even though Manchester City have the advantage in points and goal difference, Liverpool now have the advantage in the games coming up, so it's going to be very close.
So for United, where can you see they finish this season?
Top four. I think they can finish top four. They're one of the form teams in the league, as we say. They're on the best run. The manager has come in and got the best out of the players. So I think that they can finish top four, and that will be an amazing turnaround, considering when Jose Mourinho left, where they were, nobody even thought top four was possible. So I think Manchester United have got an exciting future at the moment.
And cool, how great it is to have such an icon talk to our young players. Maybe you think you'd like to arrange for Michael Owen to talk to our senior team, since they need to win badly?
No, Michael brought a lot of great insight to these young boys, you know, giving good ideas and inspiration, and it is important, as like what he said, you need to have someone to look up to, and for him to share how he works and how back in his days what was going on. I think these boys will definitely take away a lot of great input on that one. So we really, as a club, as FAS, we really appreciate that you came over, and thank you.
Any thoughts on the senior team, Tunku?
The senior teams, you know, they're working hard. There are improvements, but yeah, we also make some mistakes, and that's costing us right now. But again, I think my biggest takeaway, I guess, from Michael is about mentality. You know, we have to have a strong mind on the field and off the field. And I think as a club, as FAS, we're getting there and we're building on it.
Today with the youth team, the new FAS management has been able to do some changes. What are your plans for the youth teams?
For changes in the youth? I think for right now, the changes that we're looking at is more outside of the club, and looking at development in the under-12s, creating some youth leagues, and we're trying to get all these young players from schools to get playing more, and to get them to build their passion on football. They have to love football, and when you love football, that's where you're going to be hungry to win, and you come working harder every day.
Any planning after this to collaboration with the England team?
Yeah, we're looking at collaborations with a lot of clubs, and you know, we've talked to a few, and at the moment, you know, FAS, when I came in, for me was about rebuilding the foundation, you know, cleaning up all the mess of the politics that we had last year, and now that foundation is sort of being settled in. So now we can build on to the next level and build up the football itself. So yeah, we hope so too.
Michael, the president just now mentioned the need to get the young kids to love, to be passionate about football. Do you agree that there's always this, I suppose, sentiment, this opinion that kids these days, they're not into football as kids back then. They're now into Fortnite, PlayStation, what have you. Do you agree with that?
It's very much the same in England. Yeah, trying to get my son outside and playing football is difficult when he can play on the computer. this is not just a problem in Malaysia. Don't worry. It's very important. As I say, we continue to inspire young players to actually be active. Whether that can be done in schools or clubs, then every country is different, I suppose. But I say, even though I agree in that when I'm at home and I drive past the park nowadays, open fields of when I was young, everybody was playing football, everybody, and now they're empty. Nobody seems to be playing, but we're still producing very good players. It's changed. The world is always changing, and now we have more elite academies. So people are coming off the parks and going more elite. So maybe less people play, but maybe to a higher standard, or the coaching is to a higher standard and more focused on the better players. But I certainly agree with the President. You have to have a real passion for football. Once you have a passion, then you want to play it, and you want to play it more and more and more. If you play it more and more, and you really enjoy it, it's inevitable you will get better. You will keep improving. So you can't force people to play. You need to really create something that's exciting, and that's where very good players in the league is important. To have that target, to have that aspirational type of player, and then bring it down, and then create an enjoyment, create maybe new leagues or new competitions for people to play more and more and enjoy the game.
So Michael, you have been playing with Liverpool, Real Madrid, Manchester City. Maybe you didn't have facing late payment of salary, but it happened in Malaysia. But what's your thought on that? Because it affects the player.
Well, that's obviously not only in Malaysia that happens. It's happened in lots of different countries as well. Even in England it happens. Lower down, maybe in Division 2, maybe 3 or 4 divisions below the Premier League. It happens as well. Football is no different to normal business, and sometimes businesses are in difficulty, sometimes they're doing very well. That's just life, I suppose. So of course the world isn't perfect. We would love it to be perfect, and I hope it's resolved, and I hope it's better for all the players in Malaysia. But it's not just a problem in Malaysia. This is a problem in business and in the world, and as I say, happens in England as well.
So maybe any advice on the player that affected by that situation?
Well, it's difficult to know. Every situation is very different. I'm not sure which situation you're referring to, but I'm sure that everything will be okay eventually. Whether the players need to make a stand on that, or whether a little bit of understanding can be exercised, I'm not sure. I'm not sure the example, but all I'm saying is that it's not a nice problem, but it does happen, and it happens all over the world.
We have time for one more question.
Okay, all happy? Thank you.
Thank you.